Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 51 of the Tiny Disc Podcast, a show about games and life. I am Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by the beautiful Jack Cepeda.
Bong bong, internet people. I am high on life. I'm high on the natural taste of this spongy, cheesy Japanese cake. And man, I'm on a sugar rush, guys. What's up?
Well, looks like we know who's going to be hyper this show. And we also have the incredibly lovable Colin Sparling.
Hello, everybody. I hope you and yours are doing well. Welcome to the live stream, part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Let's get this thing started.
Part deux.
Part deux.
Part deux.
No, it's more so I just wanted the excuse to say Electric Boogaloo because it's just a really fun word.
No, the same. Yeah.
Yeah. So to start today's show, guys, I wanted to ask you about something because this week, or at least in the past week, I've suffered a gamer problem that's as old as gaming itself.
Tennis elbow?
Cheeto dust?
Getting warmer. Any other guesses?
A crushing sense of depression.
Ding, 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 ding.
How about
no.
You've been playing for so long you didn't realize your TV was actually sideways the whole time? You ever get that? Anyone else?
Were you playing Ikaruga or some shit? What the hell?
Close. No, I think the problem that I've been having is gamer anxiety. Because I've been running into that problem where, like, my backlog is just so insurmountable to me that I'm just like, there's so many things that I want to play and so many things I'd like to get through, so many bucket list games that, like, and here I am playing Kingdom Hearts 2 for like the third time.
Oh my gosh, dude, get a life.
I know. I'm sitting here playing Kingdom Hearts 2 for like the third time, and I've been playing Skyrim VR and among other things.
Okay, so what you decided to do to alleviate your backlog is play 2 of the longest fucking games known to mankind.
And replay them.
No, because I just kind of like, I hate my gamer self so much.
And you're replaying them too, dude, which is like making me even more triggered at these events.
I know, but like, okay, to be fair, like Skyrim VR is awesome. All right. I mean, it's in VR.
And yeah, I don't, it's like a half of a replay because he's playing it in VR for the first time.
Yeah. And I mean, and I actually like, I'm really getting the hang of it. And let me tell you, shooting a bow and arrow in VR is a lot of fun. And
yeah. True.
Plus, the KH2 I'm playing is the PS4 version, and I'm playing on Critical for the first time. So, but anyway, like, so I just sat there and I was just like, man, I am just like so dissatisfied from where I'm at, like gaming wise. There's just so many games that I want to get to, so many tentpole games. Like, you know, those books that like come out of like 100 or 1,000 games that you should play before you die. I have not played a lot of those games.
You know, I thought those books died out ever since, like, the internet turned 10 years old.
Well, that's true. Like, I mean, those are the books that you'd see at your fucking, your Scholastic book fair when you were in elementary school or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
But I just, like, you know, it's like there's so many games that, you know, I always hear about, that I read about, that I watch videos about, that I have just never played. So the system that I'm trying to implement right now is I came up with this idea to like, okay, so what if I did a thing where like I alternated every week? 1 week I'll try and play like a more retro game, something that like I've been trying to get to that's more of like an old school kind of deal, maybe like Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 6 or something like an old school RPG or something like that.
6, please. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
And then another week I'll play something more modern, like on my PS4 or what have you. I mean, I'm talking about like a game that I'm maining right now, like a long form game, like an RPG or something like that. Not counting the games I play passively on the side, like a Rocket League or an Everybody's Golf or something like that.
Right.
Okay.
But basically what I wanted to pose to the table was like, how do you guys go about tackling your backlog? Do you have any sort of system? Do you just play what you feel? How do you go about it?
Well, I usually keep up with current releases, you know, so I tend to just kind of start playing whatever game is new that catches my interest. So like, for example, when Vampire come out, I played that, and I'll talk about that later on the show. And that's kind of what
Vampire come out.
Yeah, and so that's what I've kind of been maining. So I don't know, I guess I just kind of play one game a lot until I'm sick of it, or like I beat it, and then we'll see how satisfied I am with the ending.
And then you mainline one game. So you're not playing a lot of a bunch of games or a little bit of a bunch of games. You're playing a lot of one game at a time.
Yeah.
Till you move on to the next one.
Right.
What about you, Jack?
Oh man, I wish I had a system like that. I'm just so scattershot with everything. It's just kind of like
I've been the same way. I've always been that way.
And the thing about it is, as well as that, I'm paralyzed by choice at this point, right? The backlog is so vast, so depressingly deep.
It's
I mean,
true.
we're talking, like, in my case, we're going back decades, literally decades of games that, I want to get to that one day. I want to play Remember Me still.
Yeah,
No, you
I
don't.
mean,
you know.
No, you
and-
don't.
No, I do.
No, you
I
don't.
do. I do. And
it's
I
not
want to
that-
play.
I mean, it's not a bad game. It's just not great.
It's not a
I wanna
bad
play
game.
Mech-
It's not at the top of your
Okay.
list, though.
That's not what I wanted to talk about.
I'm just saying.
But for instance, to stroke your stuff, Robert, Mega Man X2,
There you go.
right? Like that's something I haven't played yet that I want to. Mega Man Legends 2, Toblerone, or what's it called?
Toblerone.
Tronbon.
Did you say
Tronbon.
Toblerone?
I still
Toblerone.
want to play Toblerone. It's in my backlog.
I'd love to play Toblerone the game. When you climb just like mountains of triangular chocolate.
You have to yodel the whole time.
Still have that 2002 bar of Toblerone sitting in my closet. I can't wait to get to it.
Happy peanut soul over chocolate covered mountaintops and waterfalls of caramel.
There was a Reddit post where a guy went to the actual mountain and like he held like in perspective the Toblerone up the package up to complete the images.
It was cool.
Made me smile anyway. So anyways, I don't have a system. I'm just so scattershot. Whenever I have any free time, usually, sadly, it's just sitting there watching internet videos. Like I don't even like because it's just passive enough, right? Like I just don't even have the energy anymore as an old gray man to play games. I'm still behind on God of War, ashamedly so. But I don't know, man. So it's a depressing answer to your question, but I wish. All I'm doing is I'm just waiting. I'm screaming towards early retirement where I can actually sit down and catch up with the games from the 80s.
No, I feel you there though. I've definitely gotten to points where like say I've been working all day or whatever, and I come home, it's like okay, like I'd really like to make some progress in Kingdom Hearts or whatever the hell I'm playing that day, and I just come home and then next thing you know, it's like 10 or 11 o'clock. It's my bedtime and it's like, fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Like I could have been playing games those past few hours. Instead I sat there and watched a podcast about games or some video about games, I'm sure.
Right.
Knowing me. And there it goes.
See, that's the reason I try to mainline one game only, though, is that
Yeah.
Because you know that's the only way it'll get done.
well,
Yeah,
not only
I mean it takes a lot of discipline for me.
well, not only that, but
that.
also like, do you guys ever fall into that trouble where like you've got your fingers in like 20 different pies and you kind of forget?
That's me all the time.
Yeah, but then you start forgetting like, okay, wait, where were these guys in the story, and then what's happening in this game, and also how do you
Yeah.
play this other game? You know, like
I actually
yeah.
like what's the combo mechanic in this game, right? And what's the tech tree in this game exactly? And that's the problem I have completely. So I'm so neck deep in that issue. Whereas I want to pick up Earthbound again on the Wii U I got for the virtual console there, and I'm like, I don't know, 25 hours in, so like way too far in to like, you know, start from the beginning, but then also so deep in that I'm gonna have to reteach myself how to play the game. But it's like definitely on the list of things to do this summer. But it's just taking that leap and actually getting it did.
I feel you, and I'm actually gonna pose a viewpoint on the table, and this is a controversial one.
Oh,
okay, we will kick you out if it's too controversial, so get ready for that.
No, The Last of Us is a bad game. No, I'm kidding. So I'm a believer that you don't need to beat a game to experience, like to consider like yourself done with the game. Like as long as you play a game, right? And you experience enough of it to be like, okay, I get it. Like I feel like I can move on to something else. And like just like I know I experienced this game and like I experienced its gameplay and things like that, and I got my fill for the time. Like maybe I'll come back to it later, but I feel comfortable enough to like move on to something else.
yeah, I hate that. I mean, because growing up with quote unquote games journalism, right? You're like, oh, well, you can't even have an opinion about a game until you review it totally. But I just don't think that's really necessarily true anymore.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, getting a review out on a 100-hour plus game is kind of ridiculous.
It depends though on the type of game. If it's like, you know,
Yeah.
like Faye or
You're
something
right.
like that, or
I would
like
agree.
Two Brothers, you should be able to beat that in a couple sittings, right? Whereas
Right.
if it's a game like World of Warcraft, for instance, or even Diablo, like that's an ongoing process.
Well, I think
Right, and also you're just repetitively doing the same game loop over and over. It's not like a narrative-driven game where that has the possibility of shifting.
well,
or
I
something
think
like that.
part of it too is if the game tells a good story, right? Like,
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
like if you play a game like Metal Gear Solid 3 or like Nier Automata and you don't beat it, I don't trust your opinion of that game at all. I think it's a flawed opinion because
I mean, I haven't beaten Nier yet, but we have similar takeaways.
But I still think it's a flawed opinion because you don't know what happens at the end. And to me, that's a game where I think it's necessary to experience the ending of the story to truly understand the holistic package that Nier Automata brings to the table.
Maybe that's so, but it still isn't, I don't think, a prerequisite to saying whether or not it's an enjoyable game.
True, but I still think that you wouldn't be able to speak as much about the game as someone who has beaten it. And that's something I take into account as well.
I agree with that, but I would never represent my incomplete opinion either as anything but that.
Right.
I would always say, look, I've only played this much, but what I've played is badass. You know, fucking Bayonetta is awesome. Bayonetta 2. I haven't beat that game either yet, but I know that game's awesome.
Right. Whereas
I would recommend it to people.
Yeah. Whereas a game like, I don't know, like CSGO, right, or like League of Legends, like I'd expect you to have at least a couple hours under your belt if you're trying to present yourself as having an informed opinion. But like, I mean, it's not like those are games that, you know, there's no ending. I mean, I guess if you get to like the highest rank, you've finally done it. Good for you. But also, like, where'd your 2,000 hours of your life go?
Right. And also keep in mind though, this is video games, meaning that no matter how well informed or well researched your opinion is, it's the internet, and there's going to be a million people that day that disagree with anything you say, no matter what you do. You can't make everybody happy. Let's just burn it all to the ground, everybody. Video games, let's just get out of games.
Yeah, in the case of 4chan, you can't make anyone happy because everyone thinks everything is shit on there.
And also, don't forget, video games are stupid in general as well. They're kind of pointless and dumb. You know, actually,
they're dumb. They're totally not art.
You know, I was listening to this podcast the other day with Dave Bautista on it. You know, he plays like Drax on Guardians, and he was in WWE for a long time. And he talked about how he like grew up in the ghetto, and like as a kid he'd steal a lot of stuff. And he said like, and I quote, "And I used to steal like stupid shit like video games." And I like had a like reaction of like, sir, you don't call that shit stupid. If you stole someone's NES with Super Mario on it, I will gut you.
Oh my god. Okay, actually I have a very quick story. So like one of the YouTubers I watched, one of the big things in his YouTube channel is he talks about gaming stories from when he was a kid. Mm-hmm. And a condensed version of that story was like, so he had a friend, right, that had just like, he was kind of like a pretty privileged kid. Like his parents had a bit of money, and kid was kind of a dick, but he had a lot of Nintendo games, right? So
that's what matters.
Him and this YouTuber I watch are like good friends, Happy Console Gamer is who I'm talking about. And him and this kid are good friends. And so this kid lets Johnny like borrow a bunch of his Nintendo games, right? And
a bunch? Ooh.
Yeah, just like a good, like he's like, holy shit, man, like you're letting me borrow all these? And he's like, yeah, go for it.
I don't like how this story's going. I'm getting the cringes.
And so what happens is, so Johnny, you know, he played through the game, having a good time, whatever. Like I think a couple weeks goes by, and then he comes home from like school or his job or something, and the games are gone.
Of course.
The games are fucking gone. Like he walked in his house because he lived in like a small town near like Vancouver or something like that. That was just like the type of place where you could like leave your door unlocked and everyone knew everyone sort of thing.
Vancouver, Canada, or Vancouver, Washington?
The second time this question's coming up in as many hours.
Canada. Anyway, and so like whatever. So like so what happened was, Johnny goes to the kid and he's like, dude, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I'll like find a way to pay you back, and like, I'll give you all the money back. And so he damn near pays him back for every single one of those games he lost.
Wow. Only
to find out that this guy that he borrowed the games from walked into his house when he wasn't home, took the games back himself, and let another friend borrow the games.
What the fuck? And didn't tell him?
And didn't tell him, made him pay him for the games.
Took the what a shit. Is this a true story?
This is a true 100% true story.
That is some bullshit.
Is this how Angry Centaur Gamer was born?
This is some bullshit of the highest order. This is like video game crime,
like,
man.
I was like, dude, that was some shit that like I could have seen like someone when I was younger, like pulling or something on me. Like that was some shit, dude.
That's like extortion in a way.
Like I thought this story was gonna lead to like, and then he stole the games, but like Nah, that's
Damn, he
worse.
stole them. No, he was a G. He stole them back and
his
collected
fucking
the
friend
money.
stole his games back and hustled him for money.
Yeah, that's
Dude, it's such a shitty thing. Like,
Moral of the
I can't
story: lock
imagine.
your fucking doors in Vancouver, Canada, motherfuckers.
lock
Dude.
your games, lock your wife.
Don't fuck around.
Yeah, the moral of the story, like, don't let your fucking
Hide your
and
kids,
also
hide
don't
your
let,
wife,
don't let
hide
your
your
friends
games.
like don't let anyone borrow your games. Like, at least you know what I mean. Like, unless it's someone like you just you know for a fact that you can keep track of your shit and you're in constant contact with them. Don't let people borrow your games, dude. So I will say, like, the two people that I've ever let borrow games in my entire life. One of them was Dragon Ball Raging Blast. I got it back from my friend, and the case was completely ripped to shreds. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, oh, well, like, I don't know, just like I found it that way. I'm like,
dog
dude,
gave it.
bullshit. Get out of here. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I don't understand how that. My brain is not wired that way to like just abuse and use all your video game shit and like open it up like it's some yogurt package or some shit.
Same.
You know what I mean? Like, I
as
don't
a yogurt
understand
package,
that.
yeah.
Like, let's go through the box and tear through the manual to get the game out, rip the microchips out, shove it in the Nintendo. That's how it works.
Like the plastic on the
What?
box was like completely torn. It's like if someone rage quit and just like decided to rip
Yeah.
open the box. And so another thing too is when back in the 360 days, I had the BioShock Oblivion double pack on 360. I'll never forget it. My parents bought me that game, and like I'd never owned a copy of Oblivion or BioShock. Those are two like very sentimental games for me.
Some of the best games of that entire generation.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
And so I beat through both of the games, and I let my friend borrow it. Really close friends. And so like one day I asked for it back. I was like, hey man, can I get that double pack back? And he's like, oh, I don't have it. I was like,
I traded it in.
the fuck you mean you don't have it? And he's like, well, I let my cousin Juan borrow it. And I'm like, what?
He owes me
Excuse me?
$100.
Did you find that news BioShocking?
Damn it.
I was like, okay, so like get it back from him. And he's like, well, I don't know, like he's gone. I don't know, like I don't know what he did with it. Like, whatever. I'm like, dude, so that doesn't change the fact you lost my fucking game,
That's
dude.
$60 then, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, you owe me, fucking $40, motherfucker. Like,
You just lost
So
the
what
game,
happened?
man,
man.
put
What
that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me.
What happened? What was the end result?
Nothing.
What?
It just got. I don't know. I was a dumb kid at the time. Fucking, I just never got it back.
You should have beat his ass. Say that you'd send him to Oblivion if he didn't give you those games.
Did you at least Robert stop?
I'm trying. I can't stop
Did
it.
Jason, did what was I gonna say? You totally derailed this conversation. Oh, did you at least beat those games before letting someone borrow them?
That's what I said. Yeah, I already beat him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So I have a similar horror story here. This is back in the SNES days, and this is when NBA Jam Tournament Edition like ruled the world. You could play as like Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. You could dunk on fools.
Famous
It was
basketball
pretty
players.
awesome.
Wait, what was
yeah.
the name of this game?
NBA Jam, and it was the tournament edition.
Fuck
yeah. Pretty
NBA
famous
Jam.
arcade
I know
game.
this game.
Anyways,
yeah.
Anyways, I had the box. I had the white cardboard inside. It was a complete package. I had the plastic sleeve that goes over the connectors of the SNES cartridge. Had the manual. Had the warranty card. It was a complete in-box set. And I let this dude borrow it. He asked for it, and he had it for like 2-3 months. And I'm like, hey, can I get that game back? He keeps saying, yeah, I'll bring it to school. I'll bring it to school. Never brought it. So I fucking show up at his house. Like, I didn't even have a car yet. I think my grandpa drove me there or something.
Did you know where
fuck.
Did he know that you know where he lived, or was this like a
course.
complete like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah,
here?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah. And because I asked him for dates, I'm like, here, man, I'm here for it. Let me have it. Motherfucker, right? Literally just sticks the cartridge out of the door jam. Like, here's your game back. Just the cartridge.
What a little bitch.
And for a collector like me, that was so heartbreaking.
Oh
I
no,
was like,
he fucking ruined the box, didn't he?
I was just like slack jawed. I was like, no, at that point, I was just like, man, fuck all of you. And
Dude.
and give me my game back. And so I'm sure I sold or traded it, got $20 for it or something probably.
You know, what pisses me off about like the ideology of games back then is a lot of people, like, you know, they got a Nintendo game, Super Nintendo game, they just tossed the box in the menu.
know,
Like,
like,
they
just
just
throw this
fucking
away, just fuck
like,
this.
don't need this. Like,
Yeah,
like you just
what?
lost out on like $100, dude.
Like Sega Saturn, or even to me, you know what it was about? It wasn't even about the value. I never put any thought when I was a little kid about the value that this is going to have if I take care of it. That really never crossed my mind. What I was thinking about was just that, hey, I want to keep this nice. I want this thing to last a long time. Because for me, video games growing up were so precious and so rare. Like, I would get one video game a year, like, bought for me. like for my birthday and Christmas combined. I'd get like a game.
Yeah,
if I was lucky,
Right.
and I would have to rent games like all year. Like I still to this day have never owned a copy of Chrono Trigger on Super Nintendo. I own the DS version now, but I would just rent it and then pray to God someone wouldn't copy over my save by the time I was able to save up $2 and rent it again.
Yikes.
And that's back when $2 was a lot for a little kid, you know?
Right.
Right.
I think let's probably transition into talking about. I mean, we've been talking about games, but let's talk about the games we've been playing. This is like the first time we've tried playing live music on like Twitch. It's real hard and it's real weird. I
hope it works out all right. Sorry if these
we're not
awkward
to the-
pauses are weird for us. We're still figuring everything out, but we're trying to
Yeah.
like do all the music and do all the segments live like we normally do on the show. This is definitely a probationary period, so pardon our reach.
For sure.
Yeah, we're no professional radio DJs, but they're playing all the fucking samples and shit like this. Oh, listen to that bacon sizzle. Sack.
Yeah. Contrary to what you might have heard, we are amateurs at this.
Now we are back to the Weasel 95.5. Now,
Right.
Wheezy.
Colin, have you been playing any games?
Yeah, so kind of leading off the conversation I started earlier. So as I was saying, I've been trying to play. I wouldn't say this is a retro game, but it's definitely a game that I've always heard about and like always had hyped up for me. That game is Dragon Quest VIII.
Ooh.
Yeah. Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the... God, why can't I remember the name? Journey of the Black Wizard? Journey of the... Don't quote me on that.
Something like
Journey
that.
of the something.
Goblin King?
No.
Oh,
it's
Jareth?
the Wizard King. I don't know. Have to look it up later. It's going to bother me.
Was David Bowie in it?
First?
Maybe. Maybe.
This is on PS2, right?
It's a PS2 game, and it was later ported to Nintendo 3DS.
With the dude with the red bandana?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, right on. All right, keep going.
Yeah. So... Dragon Quest VIII, man. So it was a game that I've like read and watched so many videos about and heard about, and you know it's apparently it's like this one of the seminal games of the series. Like a lot of people talk about it being the Dragon Quest game.
Yeah, it's
And
like
so-
it's as hyped as Final Fantasy VII is for the Final Fantasy
Basically,
games. Yeah.
right. So I start off the game and I'm in love with the art style. Akira Toriyama does the art, right? Very cel shaded and really cool. The characters look awesome. And it's pretty typical, like I wouldn't say typical story, but very typical fantasy type setting. And the game like starts you off in this town, you know, you find out like the general idea of the story. I won't get into spoiler territory. And here's the thing about Dragon Quest that not a lot of people just put out there. But as soon as you start that game, you are fucking grinding. Like
yes.
grind right now. You are
Dude,
grinding.
enemies will kill you fast if you don't grind.
Yeah, they will destroy you. So being as this is like aside from the original Dragon Warrior, this is the first Dragon Quest game I've played.
Oh.
Yeah. Because I played Dragon Warrior on the original NES. I have the cartridge for my Nintendo back home.
And you've also played Dragon Quest Builders, right? Question mark?
That's true, but it's completely different.
Right.
Action RPG / Minecraft clone. It's like it's basically a Minecraft / action RPG with a Dragon Quest skin to it.
Yeah.
Like it's not really traditional Dragon Quest by any means. Great game. Dragon Quest VIII though, like yeah, you were starting off grinding, and I don't know much about the quality of life stuff and like the tropes with the Dragon Quest series, and what they don't tell you is you can only put like healing items on specific characters in battle. It's not like everyone can just pull from the same bag and just like use those items and heal, right? So if that character dies and they're holding on to your only healing items, you're fucked.
That sounds unnecessarily convoluted.
It is so
Yeah.
brutal, dude. It's so brutal.
Yeah, I mean, granted, you still get like healing spells and shit, but if your healer goes down, yeah, you're fucked. Like,
Rip.
if you're out of healing stuff. And another thing is, if you die in a dungeon, at least from what I understand of what I've played so far, if you die in a dungeon, you have to manually trek all the way back out of the dungeon, all the way back across the field, all the way back to the nearest town you were at, go into the church, talk to the priest, and have him resurrect your party member.
It's so tough, dude.
Were there
I've
no
done that multiple
Phoenix
times.
Downs anywhere? Why?
No, not that I've seen so far. There's no resurrection items. I'm sure there might be some later in the game, like it would only make sense. But so far that I've played, you have to go all the way to the church to not only resurrect your party members, but also to save the game.
It's so hard.
That sounds so dumb.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where like, okay, this is really dumb. It's making me play the game a lot more cautiously and more strategically, but it's also kind of dumb.
It's so. I mean, that's like Dark Souls levels of brutality.
Yeah, and
It's
so,
the Dark
but
Souls of JRPGs.
it's definitely true though. Like it's one of those games you have to take your time and you need to grind.
You need to be
grind.
deliberate in everything.
Right, and you need to grind. I don't know much about like the skill leveling yet. Like you get to allocate skill points every time you level up, which is cool. Like it allows you to build your character in specific ways, you get new abilities, and it shows you different tiers for each ability that you level or whatever, of different attacks that you can get and all that cool shit. Which is a cool part of the game. I really enjoyed that, and the gameplay is fun. Pretty typical turn-based stuff. The animations are neat. But yeah, it's just this quality of life things kind of set me off guard. But like, I got to a point where like, okay, I think I'm past that kind of stuff. Like, I understand how the system works. And now just judging the game on its gameplay merits, I enjoy it a lot. Like, it's a fun game and really cool characters, like cool storylines going on so far. And it's funny that you mentioned David Bowie because the main bad guy at first, the Dolmagus, kind of looks like a David Bowie full of makeup in a weird way.
I see that. The game was developed by Level 5, came out in 2005, and I didn't know that it was ported to the 3DS, so that's awesome. But I played it on PlayStation 2 originally, and I think it's on Android, iOS now. The reason I bought it, back then, is because it had the Final Fantasy 12 demo.
Right.
And I was like so ready for that game, so I got it partially for the demo. I got a pretty good sale actually. I got the strategy guide and everything, and the game for like $30 total at GameStop. I remember up at Players Mall. Up at Players Mall actually. So, anyways, I played a lot of that game, several hours. I didn't get too deep into it. It's still in my backlog, guys. But I remember playing it was one of the first widescreen games on PlayStation 2. And I had a widescreen.
Was it in 480p progressive scan?
Yeah, and it was progressive scan too. So I was playing it on my Philips plasma screen back then.
Probably looked actually pretty decent.
It looked good, but that's not what I want to talk about. I actually had my roommate come out of his room and say, "Is that a video game based on the music?" Because the music was so high quality. It was like a Studio Ghibli, like orchestra, like a score, a film score. The music is so good and so high quality. I'm gonna break your heart. What? You can't break my heart.
I'm not that big of a fan of the music. I don't hate it.
Is Joe Hisaishi behind it? Because it's level 5, right?
No, it's Koichi Sugiyama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is level 5 who developed it? Really?
Bro, listen to me.
Awesome.
I don't care what you say about the music. Maybe I do care what you say.
I think you do.
At the time, in 2005, it was a standout. Like, video game music did not sound that high quality at all. You're telling me the orchestra doesn't sound good in that first village?
I mean,
it's incredible.
I don't know. It doesn't really sound very orchestral to me. It sounds very synthy. Like they're using synths.
What? I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this. I haven't listened to it in like 10 years, but I'm just telling you my memories.
But here's the thing.
I thought it was like full. I thought actually it was full orchestra.
It's not like the sound quality is bad by any means. I don't really have a problem with that. I don't really have a problem with it being synths either. It's just the overall arrangements. I'm just not the biggest fan of. They're a little bit too like major key, like too almost like too happy.
Are. Yeah, it's way happy.
Right, which is I don't know. Like after coming off of like other kind of like I don't know edgier dark RPGs.
I was just playing Agony and Dragon Quest 8 sucks.
No, but
there's no fatalities in this game.
Playing even like Final Fantasy X. Like I enjoyed Final Fantasy X soundtrack more than I have this one so far.
See, I guess we just disagree, dude, because I don't think Final Fantasy X's music's that good.
I mean, I think it's interesting.
It's all right. There are only a few good tracks from 10's soundtrack, I think.
You're making me want to go back to and listen to Dragon Quest 8 now to see if it actually is synth or not, because my brain is telling me that it was like.
I mean, I'll come back to I'll double check to make sure, but it sounded kind of artificial to me.
Interesting. All right, I'll have to go listen too.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm gonna keep playing though. Like, it's definitely like one of those fun games where like I can put on a podcast and like passively grind, and then also, but like the story beats are really cool though. Like I like the story beats so far. The characters are voice acted. Like the characters are interesting and they're fun so far.
It's JRPG with a giant J, man. It's Japanese.
And the dude that's in your party, I can't believe. Yangus. The dude has like a terrible stereotypical British accent.
Oh, I love it.
He's like, "Oi, governor." Like
Yes.
literally, like, "Oi, gov, we need to keep on moving." Like,
I thought his accent was great. I love it.
Is he
so-
like
it's-
as bad as Xenoblade Chronicles voice acting?
It's up there. Yeah,
It's
it's
definitely
like
like that,
honestly, it's just a pinch worse. Like in some ways, yeah. Like, because that was like for the power of Monado. He's just like, "Oi, governor, let's go."
It's great. I like it. I don't know. I'm a fan of this game. I have warm fuzzies for it. I just wish I
Yeah,
had
no,
more time
I
to
think
play
it's
more.
great so far though. Like I'm a fan. Like all in all.
Except for the music.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'll probably grow on me. It's that type of stuff where you spend so much time in an RPG anyway, it ends up getting stuck in your head. It just kind of finds a way.
kind of earworms in, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I don't think it's gonna be up there with like Shadow of the Colossus or anything, or like Twilight Princess for me.
You know,
So,
anytime someone just says Shadow of the Colossus in a video game music based discussion, I can't get it out of my head. The da na 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 na. It
Dude,
just
it's
fucking
amazing.
starts and it doesn't
so
stop.
good. It's good.
It's
so
very good. It's not very good. Just personally, I don't know if I'd put it in my top 20.
I mean, yeah, it's not one of my favorite soundtracks at all, but it's just like one of those loops that like, well, that's in my head for a couple hours now.
It's pretty
Right.
iconic. Yeah, like
Yeah.
like hum something in the Avengers movies, right? Their music is so forgettable.
Same.
No one knows shit about it, you know. But that da 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 da, that's that you know exactly what that means.
Exactly. Jack, you had something you want to talk about this week?
I didn't get to play too much video game but I did play a little bit of Blossom Tales on the Switch, and
Okay.
it got me thinking before the show. I'm really happy and pleased with how much probably my number 2 or number 1, I don't know, top 3, right? One of my top 3 favorite games of all time is Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on Super Nintendo. And it's just cool to see all these games come out that are paying homage to that game, and you can see its influence still here in 2018, which I think is just so badass. So you're talking about sort of Ditto, right? 3D Dot Game Heroes, Blossom Tales especially, but they're all based on Legend of Zelda and Link to the Past.
Right.
So I don't really like, I'm going to say something controversial here. Maybe I shouldn't call anybody out. I'll just say this. There's some IGN personalities that I'm fine with. There's some that just grate me a little bit, but I follow a lot of them on social media. And so I am grateful for this. Brian Altano, right? I follow him, and he posted up, wow, this Legend of Zelda, I'm not quoting it, I'm not reading anything, but something like, wow, this Legend of Zelda encyclopedia is so cool. And I'm like, what? Record scratch? What are you talking about? And then I click the link, and I'm just like, holy shit, mind blown, dude. This just came out apparently. I didn't even know about it till yesterday. But it's from Dark Horse, the people who did Hyrule Historia. They do some of the best comic book compendiums. They also do some really good video game like literature and encyclopedias and art collections and all that
Arts
stuff.
and Artifacts was the last Zelda book they put out.
So this is their next one. This is the deluxe edition, right? And it's like the biggest retro fanboy nut dream ever. Nut dream. Nut dreams.
Have me some good nut dreams.
There's a comma there.
I'm a sucker for these books, dude. Like I bought Hyrule Historia as soon as I could. Like
There should have been a comma there. I apologize. Commas are crucial. So anyways, so it's an encyclopedia that looks like on the outside. You guys, I don't know if you know this, but when Zelda came out on Nintendo, right, the Legend of Zelda, the original one, it was in a gold cartridge.
Right.
Okay, so Robert has no idea what we're talking about. Anyways, gold
Cartridge?
foil cartridge. Yeah,
What is that?
right. Those things you lick
What's a
every day when you
cartridge?
buy a Switch.
Oh no,
A
those are
game?
called micro SDs.
Those are carts,
Guys,
So anyways,
what's a computer?
yeah, right. So anyways, it looks like the Nintendo cartridge, and it's like gold too, and it looks exactly like it, but it's an encyclopedia. And also, to be even more nerdy, it comes with one of those black sleeves, dude. The Nintendo with the Nintendo in
I
red,
know what
the
you're talking
sash
about.
across.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
dope.
no.
And I'm just like, yes. And so, man, it was all of $65 on Amazon, but I had to like buy it then and there. I was like, I need this. It was like, and it's like the coolest art book ever for Legend of Zelda. And I'm so
what's your
hyped.
impressions, man? Like after flicking through it.
Yeah, do you have it
Well,
right now?
it'll be here tomorrow. I just bought it
it'll be here
yesterday.
tomorrow.
I bought it yesterday.
I was hoping
It'll be
for
here
show and
tomorrow.
tell right now.
I mean, I could share a link with you guys if you want. Variety did a story on it. I mean, this is like some major shit, dude. It's just like a cool ass idea for a way to honor like such a storied franchise. It's just a cool way of doing it, man. I don't know. I couldn't have thought of a better way of doing it myself.
And also, I just want to point out, if you think about it, there aren't that many historied franchises that I think could pull this off. Like, if they released something like this for like Mario, I don't think it'd be as hype.
And the packaging design is unique for this because Zelda was always known as the gold cartridge. That's the gold one. It's easy to find. It's easy to recognize, and on shelf, it's the gold one. So the fact that they just recreated that, man, I'm so excited. It'll be here tomorrow. I'm going to plop down on the sack and go to Nerd Town.
Your love sack, not your sack.
I'm not going to plop. I'm going to plop down on the beanbag chair in my living room and read the nerdy Zelda encyclopedia. This show's getting
honestly,
blue.
I love like coffee table, those like big coffee table video game books that have become like a kind of a thing in the past couple years.
Yes.
One of the notable ones being Pat the NES Punk did like the guidebook to the NES or whatever.
Yes.
And it just looks awesome. I really want to get my hands on one at some point. But I know like, oh, well, you can look all that stuff on the internet, blah, blah, blah. But it's the idea of having a tangible book and just being able to flick through it and see like all the, someone put, this thing lovingly together, and it's just a love letter to all things games. They have, interviews with the creators and like all kinds of stuff, all sorts of information. I'm just a sucker for that stuff. I think it's cool.
Yeah,
I've been looking through this Variety article, and I've been seeing just some of the pages, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it's got like the dungeon maps, and it's got like, I don't know, just really nerdy Zelda stuff, and all the towns and stuff. Ooh, can't wait. I have the Hyrule Historia too.
I'm so glad we can't see like what your hands and your lower body are doing right now.
They're just giving the thumbs up perpetually. Just
yeah.
Like
there
all the
are
time.
your hands. Good.
Yeah. Show us your hands.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
I kind of want to talk about some games I've been playing.
No, you don't. No, you don't, Robert.
Okay,
Fuck
we
you.
don't. Yeah, we're moving on to the next.
Vampires.
I actually have been playing Vampire. I still don't know how to pronounce it. That word.
I think it's I'm gonna say vamp. I keep saying vampire because there's no e.
Yeah,
on the end.
same,
So-
right? But like they don't say that word in the game. I really don't know what that word's supposed to mean.
Vampire.
How's it spelled?
VAMPYR.
Yeah.
PYR? Maybe
PYR.
Pier. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But I mean, it came out like 2 Tuesdays ago.
It's like when people say Neil Peart
Neil Peart.
or like the drummer from Rush.
It's
yeah.
Peart.
I think that's actually the way to say it though.
No, it's
It's-
Peart.
Which is what's sad.
It's Peart.
I think
I've
it's-
heard
I think
I've heard it
it's-
so many different ways.
Pretty-
I'm so confused.
Pretty sure it's Peart.
Peart. Okay.
Peart.
We'll just
Yeah,
go with
it's
that.
it's the dumb way. That's all I know.
Hey, don't you make fun of my boy Neil.
He's a good drummer. I'm just saying.
He's a good man.
Bad last name. He's a great.
Rush is variety. Damn it. Anyway.
Yeah, so that game came out June 5th, so like earlier this month. Developed by Don't Nod, published by Focus actually, who I think they're putting a focus on publishing AA games, which is kind of what Vampire's falling into
can't
right
help it.
now. I can't. No, it just comes out. And I'm kind of digging it so far. It's definitely not Life is Strange, but there are some things in the way your main character moves that kind of makes you feel like, yeah, this was developed by the people who developed Life is Strange, because it's just like the collision's a little wonky, kind of like it was in LAS, and it's a little weird. But essentially, this is a game where you play as Dr. Jonathan Reed. This is like, early 1900s England, Spanish flu's going heckin' wild. And you're a doctor, but you also got turned into a vampire. So like when you operate on people, it's like you see the blood, so you also want to suck the blood, but you can't because you're a good boy doctor. So like,
Hey, Dracula don't bite. He scrape and lick. All right.
yeah. So
You
you
scrape and
basically,
lick.
you basically are. It's up to you to decide if you're gonna be a good boy doctor or if you're gonna give in and be Dr. Acula. And destroy
That was the name of a
community.
shitty emo band back in the day. Just an FYI.
I
Dr.
believe it.
Acula.
I believe
So it's Paragon and Renegade, basically.
Kind of, yeah, but you actually feel the consequences of it, where Mass Effect you kind of don't. Like Mass Effect, your consequences are whether your shepherd's an asshole, Whereas with vampire, like they give you charts and flow charts and diagrams and fucking connected all this shit of like, here's all the citizens in this one corner of town. And this is the pillar of that community. So if you kill the people around this person, people are going to notice and they're going to start attacking you, or that community is just going to like leave. And if they do, the rest of the story is fucked, or like the story changes.
See, I watched a live stream. My buddy Jesse, shout out to Jesse, he's in our chat.
Ooh, what up?
I watched him stream the vampire, and he just said fucking and killed everyone.
Yeah, and
he just fucking killed. He's like, I just
the
want the
genocide
experience.
run.
Yeah.
So
just
like,
said fuck it.
That's the cool thing about it, right? Is that like the game is kind of hard at first because there's a lot of fighting to it. The combat's very simple, but basically like you equip like a hacksaw or like a little bludgeon or something, and you just smack down enemy vampires, and then like when you deplete their stamina, you can bite them and eat their blood and use that blood as a resource to do damage. But like the game is kind of unforgiving. Like if you take 2-3 hits, you're down and you kind of die. But if you give into your vampire urges and you eat people and kill them and destroy the communities, like that blood turns into XP, and you can just pump all your points into like damage, health, stamina, and all that stuff, and you just become a god, and the game becomes easy mode. And there's no difficulty setting. Like you can't choose to go into easy or hard. It's just like, this is the game. If you want it to be easy, you eat people.
Yeah, but like I'm guessing you probably get some sort of like narrative backlash though if you do like at the end of the game's probably gonna be really shit if you do that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like, so they do
Kinda
this
like
thing.
Dishonored.
Yeah, so you have to like mesmerize people because they kind of take the whole vampire thing seriously. Like you can't enter people's homes unless you're invited. You can like suggest things to people and they follow your suggestions. Sunlight.
You can't eat garlic bread.
Yeah, crosses hurt you. There are enemies who have crosses. It's pretty great.
No fettuccine Alfredo.
Unfortunately. So like you have to talk to someone, and then your mesmerized level has to be high enough, and basically you're like, come with me, bitch, and you just walk them to a dark corner, and then you eat their soul and ass.
Is that how he gets them to come with him?
And
He's
their
like, come
ass?
with me,
Damn.
bitch.
And their ass. Yep.
Do you have like a I saw a clip of someone playing this game. I think it was Vinny Caravella from Giant Bomb, I want to say. And like one of the vampires, I don't know if it's the main character or if it's like one of the other characters, but they just have like a he bitch like in the room that he's like a familiar, and he just lets you suck his blood all the time.
Haven't run into that yet.
You haven't run into the he bitch yet? Okay.
Not yet, no. I mean, hopefully I'll find him. I don't know. Because I played a couple hours of this game. I'm like 10 hours in, and I still don't feel like I've scratched the surface of the story, which like I guess is good and bad because like I feel like it's taken a while to get to the point, but also like I'm still interested.
It's a really weird world, man. I mean, there's like proxies, right? They're like, oh, turn me. I want to be a vampire too. It seems very nuanced. I don't know. It seems like the story could go places.
I mean, like, it's interesting, right? Because, like, you do have to learn all the characters. Like, with Skyrim and shit, like, sure, there are a lot of NPCs and you make dialogue choices, but in the end, they kind of don't matter for the most part, right? Whereas with Vampire, when you talk to a character, like, you remember him, like, okay, that's the town drunk, that's the prostitute, that's the peddler who's selling shitty drugs that don't work, you know, that kind of stuff. And you just start to memorize their roles in the society. And you know that if you eat them, they're going to be gone. People will react. People will notice. And the one thing I cannot wrap my head around is like, how do people like, have you seen pictures of like the main character?
I know exactly what you mean. He looks like death.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking vampire. And no one
acknowledges it.
Yeah, he has designer bags under his eyes.
Bro, is it kind of like when Clark Kent like takes off his glasses and they're like, it's Superman?
Yeah, it's even worse than that. Also, fun fact, do you know Zooey Deschanel?
Yes, I know of her.
She has proven to me that the Clark Kent thing makes sense, because if you see her in glasses and see her without glasses, it's weird.
I don't know. Oh, I thought you were going to say she's in the game or some shit. I don't know, man. No. She seems, I've always recognized her, I feel like. She's the chick from Elf.
Yeah, but either way, every time he talks with people, I just don't understand how they can look at him and not be like, you a vampire though, or like are you not?
Are you like trying to suck my blood, bro?
No,
I'm just-
totally
I'm
not a
just-
vampire.
Just trying to
Like,
be sure.
not-
And like the other characters that I've run
Never
into
heard of
so
them.
far that are vampires and you can talk to, they look like normal fucking people, and I wouldn't have guessed they're vampires. And I'm like, so yeah, you give the main character the fucking worst character design that it's like clearly he's a vampire.
Man, I'm just disappointed that Blade isn't an unlockable character in this game.
As far as I know,
Fucking
needs
plays
to be-
Wesley Snipes.
Was there not a Blade video game? I want to say, and
There was a
wasn't it
Blade
bad?
2 video game back in the PlayStation 2
It's
and
super
Xbox.
bad. Yeah,
Was it good?
I don't remember. I never played it.
Blade 3 is one of the most laughably terrible movies, man.
I'd believe that.
It's so bad. It's really bad. It's got Ron Reynolds in it. You would think it'd be good, but it also has what's the chick name that married Justin Timberlake? Forgot her name. Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel.
Oh, sure.
And the movie sucks. Movie sucks, but they need to bring back Wesley Snipes, man. Get him out of prison. Tax prison.
He's out of prison, isn't he?
For
I
Blade
don't know.
4.
I'm not current on my Wesley Snipes.
I thought he's a
Events.
quality follow on Twitter. Let me tell you something.
I didn't
Really?
even realize he had access to Twitter. This is awesome.
Yeah, he's on Twitter and it's pretty great. He like he reposted a
damn.
picture of like open. Somebody had a box and it said "open with Blade," and someone pulled out a Blade DVD.
Nice. I like that. Dude, he's even.
And Wesley Snipes like, guys, okay, I've seen it. Okay, like everyone's sending me this meme.
That's funny.
That's pretty good.
He's even better in Demolition Man, though.
Right.
One of the great movies. Have you ever seen?
Haven't seen it.
Sylvester's. Oh, so what, dude? Okay, hold on. Just 10 seconds for Demolition Man. So in the near future, there's this thing called the Franchise Wars, and it's about the fast food franchises, and they have a war. And the only one that wins the war is Taco Bell. So now all restaurants in the world are Taco Bell. I'm fucking not
What?
kidding. I'm fucking not kidding.
What is this
it's the most
movie?
incredible shit ever.
It's a
and
movie.
then this dude is from like our time, right? And he goes back and he's like frozen and he comes back in the future and he's going to like take a shit in the bathroom. And where the toilet paper is, there's just this little shelf with 3 seashells on it. and he comes out of the bathroom. He's like, "Hey, you guys are out of toilet paper." And they're like, "Yeah, there's just the shells there." He goes, "Yeah, there's just got this little shelf." And it slides to Stallone. He's like, "You just got this little shelf with 3 seashells there." And they all look at each other like, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. This movie sounds incredible. It's an incredible movie. It's so good, dude. Demolition Man. It's so bad and so good. But all right,
Oh my God.
But he and I don't know. I don't want to give any more spoilers because there's a gag that goes along with the 3 seashells. It's a running gag in the movie, and it just we need to watch it. We should probably watch it together.
Sounds like
I
the
for
first
one praise
movie.
our 4th meal overlords.
Oh man.
Sounds like the first movie to think outside the bun.
Robert,
You're giving me the
Robert.
fuel. That's all I'm
Don't
saying.
make this your identity online, Robert.
All right, so
implore
has there
you.
ever been a Twitch stream that just like swatted themselves? Because this is going to be the first one.
Are you about to swat me?
No, I totally agree.
Jesus. Okay, I do want to talk about one other quick game here. After E3, after the Bethesda stream specifically, I ended up downloading Fallout Shelter on my Switch. Not the worst game I've ever played on mobile.
That's not that bad.
It's really not that bad. No.
Fallout Shelter is a fun game. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've
I'm
always
sitting
just-
here saying it's fine.
Yeah, I've always been under the impression that it's probably a very meh mobile game with like you need to pay to win.
Nah, dude, I
It
downloaded
ain't-
that shit when they initially announced
Yeah,
it back.
that second,
like, when they
yeah.
announced
Yeah.
Fallout 4.
That was
Yeah,
a
dude,
knee-jerk
it
reaction. Yeah, I still have it on my iPad. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like it's pretty good on the Switch just because like it's like when you take the Joy-Cons off, it's basically a glorified smartphone at that point. You know, it's just
Right.
like a big old screen that's touchable.
It's a tablet.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've been having fun with it. I did not expect myself to have as much fun as I did, but like once I found out that you could name your own vault, of course it was Vault 420. Because what other?
XX69 no scope.
Well, I mean, they only give you 3 numbers, so I was like, well, it's either 069 or 420, and
Gary.
but yeah, I don't know. I just want to give that game a little shout out. It's pretty fun, and like
Okay.
Switch is like a solid console to play it on, and they've integrated the Joy-Con controls pretty well. Like you can play it with just the controllers, and it actually works pretty fine. So that's cool. It's good to know.
I'm gonna have to re-download it then. Wait, is there still like all the shitty microtransactions though?
Yeah, like you can buy more Nuka-Cola to speed things up, or like lunchboxes to get some cards and whatever.
You mean to tell me there's a game on a mobile platform where they'll take your money to make you feel better about the game?
Well, sometimes when they port these things to consoles, they take those out. It's happened in the past.
Nope. Like there are links in the game where it's like, go to the Nintendo eShop to buy like a truck of cola, Nuka-Cola.
It's illegal in Belgium.
That's true.
I don't know if that's true, but whatever.
It's getting there.
We're getting to that point.
Yes.
But
marijuana legal in Canada now, but loot boxes illegal.
Yeah, can we talk about the fact that like if you've smoked marijuana in Canada, you legally cannot enter the United States anymore? And since it's about to be legal in Canada, like not that there are many Canadians probably looking to venture into our fine wall building nation, but
is that from the Canada side or from the U.S. side? Like, is Canada saying you cannot leave the country now because you smoke weed, or is that America saying we don't want you in here?
It's the U.S. side.
They're saying you smoked weed, you're bad, stay out. Because no one in America smokes weed.
Of course not. No.
The devil's lettuce. What is that?
Yeah, the devil's cabbage does not see the light of day in this country.
It'll be legal.
Reefer madness, man.
I'm not even like big into that stuff, right? Like I don't do that stuff. But at the same time, I still think it should be legal. And that's my political statement for the week.
Yeah, so that's the political section of our Tiny Disc podcast. So let's transition.
Legalize it.
Let's transition to something that isn't political at all. Let's talk about some gaming news. Oh, that's nice. Getting this music going.
You're the only one that can hear it.
I know, I'm the only one that can hear it. It doesn't really help. Okay. Wow, we need to figure something out about that. So, video game news. Guys, the World Health Organization has declared that gaming disorder is supposed to be a globally recognized disorder.
Is it Schedule 1?
Yeah. This
is it really?
Like, yeah, on the WHO, like,
Holy shit, I was joking.
Like, no, it's a real thing. They're on their like compendium of like these are all disorders and shit. They're adding gaming disorder to that listing.
I don't know, man. It's kind of like saying you got basketball disorder in a way.
Yeah.
Like maybe you just are trying to go pro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, parents are probably like, "Oh shit, these kids can like get on Twitch and make a bajillion dollars streaming fucking Fortnite," and then they're like, "Well, shit, okay, here, just play as many games as you want." No, like one of the things that I saw come out of this on Twitter was like the average gamer kid is spending like 20 hours a week playing games. I was like, "Them's rookie numbers, kid.
Yeah,
you gotta get them numbers up."
Dude, I knew I knew a dude in high school. I'm not saying this is healthy, but I felt like every 2 days he was telling me about a new JRPG that he fucking beat, not just played. Yes, dude, that he beat. Like he went through like all the Lufias and shit. He went through all the Final Fantasies. He went through all the Dragon and like multiple, like 2 or 3 a week. I was like, what do you do with your life?
Nothing.
Ooh, I'm kind of jealous of that guy though.
I do. I definitely have like a friend or two that's like, yeah, just got God of War fucking beats it in a weekend, like no problem.
I know.
Does everything 100%. It got the platinum. Like
no way. Like, dude, come on, you gotta sleep at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think he does.
But the joy. Tell me though, I love these weekends where you would go to sleep late at night playing a game. And then wake right up and just start playing again. Like I love that shit.
It's a good feeling,
it's the best. Sure. I've been making a habit out of it. Like the days that I have off, I would just wake up. Soon. I would make a cup of coffee, grab like a breakfast bar or whatever, and then sit down and just play a couple rounds of everybody's golf to start my day. And it's the best.
Nice.
You can set it on a morning setting. You could play in an island somewhere that looks like Hawaii. And then you're just teeing off, man, and then you get really pissed off because then you keep hitting balls out of bounds like I do, and then
it's relaxing until you have to play the same 4 holes 80,000 times. But
yeah, I just now got to the point where I unlocked the 3rd set of courses. Don't get me started.
Jesus. But yeah, so since this is being added to like the international classification for diseases, it's like supposed to be a recognized thing now. Like you can be diagnosed legally in a hospital with gaming disorder. Which is
it takes a lot, though. I know there's a pretty steep barrier to entry for being classified under this. I read a little bit of the story.
Yeah, I mean, because like addiction is defined as very like there are very extreme conditions you need to meet. I think most, if not a majority, of people who play video games, like even the hardcore ones, probably wouldn't fall into that. I mean, I don't know. I still think though that's just a little bit insane for it to be like classified as like a legal term. You know what I mean? Like you could have on your records, on your medical records, you have gaming disorder.
Well, I mean, then I think we're just getting into the web of like, is addiction a disease and blah blah blah, and that's just like
that's a whole nother thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a whole nother argument.
Well, is there like a chemical dependence here, like where they're going to get withdrawals if they don't like, cap noobs?
I mean, yeah, that's part of the definition of addiction, though. Like in the same way,
it has to do with chemical balance stuff. But I mean, granted, I feel like this would only really truly apply in those really extreme cases, like back in the day when World of Warcraft first came out, like the first couple years that it was out. All over the news, dude, about like how people were just not leave their chair, just like sit there, do nothing but eat Hot Pockets and give themselves fucking carpal tunnel and just stare at their fucking screen all day doing raids and all that. And Pockets. I remember like it was so bad in the media, like that game was getting so much bad press that my mom's like, you are not allowed to play the fucking game. Like, I am never buying it for you ever.
Dude, what's scary is Trump wanted to, if he could have, he wanted to ban violent video games. If you remember, in the not so distant history of this country, he had that whole meeting with them. So like, we got to put an end to this, guys. That's a terrible Trump impression, but you get what I'm saying.
Good.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think that was a little bit more like he's just doing the PR thing and meeting with those people to see what they say, but he didn't actually make any moves, which I'm glad he didn't.
Right.
Anyway, there's definitely way more pressing matters in the country right now that we won't get into.
No, let's do it. And about religion, no, just kidding.
But anyway. This whole disease thing, or another example being that like the one kid that died because he played too many video games in like Korea or something like that because he just didn't feed and water himself or go to the bathroom.
Water himself. You have to water yourself to stay alive. No, but
like classical music, get some sunshine, get that chlorophyll going.
Dude.
Yeah, I think that dude went like 54 hours of StarCraft and then died.
I mean, dude, the video games are not, it was a factor, but it's like you do 54 hours of anything straight without sleeping, you're going to die.
It's true. I think that's just a matter of like, the video game is so addictive, you know what I mean, that it gets you to that point.
Should have watered himself.
It's true. He should have watered himself.
Should have watered himself.
Yeah, should have stayed in direct sunlight.
There's people, though, like, it's just like with anything else. You can have a good blank life balance, like work-life balance, game-life balance. Thing is, like, games, as long as you're healthy in other areas of your life, it is, at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal how much games you play. If you have the time for it, then good for you. You know what I mean?
Right, because like at the end of it... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, as long as it doesn't keep you from being a productive member of society, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, as long as you're doing what you need to do to live like at least a somewhat healthy life. I mean, more power to you, I guess.
Video games are just a hobby like anything else, right? Like there are people who do all kinds of stuff like yoga, crochet, or like they're movie buffs or something, right? Like as long as you are also a human being who can do other things besides just play video games, you're probably fine.
Right.
So,
and that's the thing, like all the games industry people, it was actually really funny to watch when that article came out on Twitter. And, like everybody's reaction was like 20 hours a week, you need to get them rookie numbers up, son. Like that ain't shit. And the thing is, like all those game industry people, they like games are their lives, right? They play games all the time, but they still have a good like work-life balance. You know what I mean? Like, they have well-balanced lives. They can pay their bills. They get out. They work. They stay physically healthy. At least, the people that I know. But I don't know. It's just another one of those things like anything else.
Yeah, it just depends on who you are, what you do, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Jack, this news story might be a little bit related to you, or you might have an interest in this. So Movie Pass has some competition now.
Oh, please. Yeah, I saw this.
Okay, so you don't sound excited at all. So AMC, they're like upgrading their Stubs loyalty program, whatever. They're adding the Stubs A-list, where you pay $20 a month and you can watch 3 movies for free a month.
A week.
Or a week. Is it a week?
I think so.
Yeah, and you can watch them all on the same day instead of like how Movie Pass requires you to like,
that is an added bonus, but it's double the cost. And that's a thing. And B, I don't know if this is relevant to me because I don't know of any AMC theaters by me. I don't think they have much of a footprint in Austin, but they are huge in Columbus. I remember that.
Yep.
And
there's an AMC right down the road from me.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest theaters in the country, theater chains. So yeah, they've been salty at Movie Pass from the start. And I don't know. It's not, let's say you see 3 movies a month, which is a high for me. The most I've ever used Movie Pass ever is 4 times in a month. All right. So for me, that's like almost $60 worth of tickets. Okay. AMC, what are the tickets there now? $12, $13?
Yeah, depending on the movie.
Right. So
or depending on if you see it in IMAX
it's just,
or whatever.
I mean, it's a good thing if you're going to watch, you would have to watch more than 3 movies a month consistently to not just buy the tickets and not subscribe to this thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
So to me, it's a lot less. To me, it's a lot less of a value. And with Movie Pass, you watch one movie, you're already positive, ROI positive.
Right, but there are also other things added on to the AMC thing, like because by being an A-lister, you're also part of their whole subs loyalty rewards.
I did that before
program.
too.
Yeah, so like that gives you like free upgrades for popcorn sizes and shit, or like a rewards card where you get points and then you can redeem them. So like
It's just if it was $10 a month, I'd be all in. $20, I'm like, nah, probably not.
Yeah, and to me, I don't know. I'm just one of those people that doesn't watch enough movies per month to even like feel the need to do a subscription model for it. I don't even feel the need to go for Movie Pass, honestly.
Which to me is kind of crazy because it's $10 a month for 30. You can watch 30 movies a month if you want.
Yeah,
to.
I mean that's true. I mean it's one of those things where like I've been meaning to get around to it. I don't know, but I definitely do not frequent the movies. But at the same time, though, even if you see one movie a month, it pays for itself.
Like it
right
more
there.
than pays for itself. One movie a month. Yeah,
That's
and
true.
like I said, if you watch 4 movies a month, shit. And I think the movie theaters are definitely making money on me because every time I go watch a movie now, I get food. I do.
Right.
I feel good about it. They're getting their money. Shit.
Huh.
So
While we're talking about movies, did you guys see Incredibles 2 this past weekend?
I didn't. But apparently the rest of the free world did.
Yeah. Colin, did you?
No, I didn't. I want to go see it though, for sure.
So that movie is setting some records, son.
Yeah,
I believe it. It's one of those movies that there so many people have just wanted for so long. So I fully expected it, especially just in and of itself being a Pixar movie, to just blow up in the box office.
It's got Samuel Jackson in it. Like, sign me up.
Exactly. And it has like best domestic box office like opening weekend for an animated film since Finding Dory like 2 years ago. And it blew that out of the water too. And it's also
I never saw that either, actually, to be honest.
It was all right. And also it had best opening weekend for PG film. So I mean, that's just, I think so. So like
Harry Potter, damn.
Yeah, I mean, look, there were a lot of kids. Well, I guess adults now who used to be kids when Incredibles 1 came out that really wanted to see that movie. Like all over my social media feed, I was just like, Incredibles 2, Incredibles 2. There it is. Isn't that incredible? It's Incredibles 2.
So the neckbeards and the families all at the same time.
Exactly. Everyone.
Beautiful.
And I mean, I saw the movie. I think it was good. I liked it more than the first, honestly.
Okay. I haven't seen the first.
Man. The first
I haven't seen the first. It was in that weird time period where I was too old for cartoon movies.
You're never too
it's
old.
good. It's good.
I know. I've come back around on it. Like, I definitely like animated films. I totally see the value, but I'm just saying that's why I didn't get into it to begin with.
Yeah.
Because I was like early 20s. Like, meh.
Yeah, there's a few Pixar movies that I think I skipped out on. Well, I haven't seen the fucking Cars sequels. Like,
I haven't seen Coco. I haven't seen any of the car sequels.
Coco,
Coco
let me say,
is good.
Coco is really fucking good.
That's what I keep hearing. It's on Netflix now, so I have no
It
excuse.
is. I saw it on Netflix like a few days ago. It's so good. Recommend.
Yeah, I actually thoroughly enjoyed Coco.
Awesome.
It's one of those. It's very feely movie.
No, I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah.
Like,
Although
shit.
I will say I did call the ending like pretty early.
No fucking spoilers, dude.
No,
I
I'm not
going
to tell you the ending. I'm not an ass, but
I
it's
know
just
what
like,
you mean, Robert, and I think I did too. Like,
Yeah.
I could see it coming.
like they introduce the character, and you're like, I know exactly what's gonna
okay,
happen.
well, let's get out of spoiler territory before we spoil it.
Hey, so if you played Fortnite on your PS4, you're not allowed to play Fortnite on anything else, motherfucker. Sony's got a stranglehold on your account.
They got that vajay on lock.
Yeah, they got your testes just in their
In a vice.
palm of their hands.
Dude, let me tell you, in the Twitterverse and the games industry, this has been a huge point of contention. Everyone is throwing up their hands in a what the fuck motion.
Describe what this is for the layman, please. Even for me. Let's
So,
not pretend
okay,
like I know
so
everything about this.
Fortnite is a battle royale game where 100 people
Okay,
drop on a
skip
virtual.
up 10 steps.
So
I got you. I got this. So basically what happened was, Nintendo E3 press conference happens right after the show. Fortnite's available on Switch. You log out, you download Fortnite onto your Switch, you log it, or you press open on the game, and it has you enter in your credentials for your Epic account. Okay, cool. So you better hope to God that you didn't previously play on PS4 version of Fortnite with that same Epic account.
Why is
or else
that?
you're locked
Because
out.
why wouldn't I? That sounds like a great idea.
Right. So you're fucked. You're not going to be able to bring in. You have to create a whole new account if your account was at any point attached.
I
to your
can't bring
PS4.
my cosmetic items, my righteous cosmetics
Nothing.
over.
Nope.
Nothing.
Thanks, Cliffy B.
Why?
Because Sony doesn't like crossplay for whatever
Fucking
reason.
Sony, dude. I don't understand. Do we remember? I was watching these Xbox One policies when they first came out, when it was first announced, and they weren't going to use games, so they're going to do like family shit. Remember that whole debacle with Xbox
Yeah.
One?
Of course I do.
Sony
Here's
has
how you
become
share
this
games
now,
on
dude.
PS.
Sony is the one, now that they have the power. We've talked about this a couple times last week, but now they have the power. Now that they have position, now they have the leverage to dictate to people how they're going to play games and when and where they're going to play them. They're the only ones that are standing in the way of cross-platform. PC's on board. Xbox is super on board. Is Switch on board? I'm not sure.
Switch is, at least with Rocket League, yeah, Switch, Xbox, and PC are all playing.
Sony's like, nah, we're good. Nah, we'll play with PC and that's it. And it's just like, dude, why do you got to come across like just a bunch of dicks?
Yeah.
At this point, like you were the people's system back then. Lest
And
you
here-
forget.
Here's the interesting thing too, is like it's always been like this actually. Like if you opened up on PS4, you could not have played on PC or Xbox for
yeah.
Fortnite. But no one really noticed or cared because
It's
at that
Xbox.
time, well, I mean, no, at that time, I feel like rarely would you run into someone who'd play on PS4 and another console for Fortnite. I feel like most people would stick to one, right?
Or PC and console.
Right. But now with Switch coming out, like there are a lot of people who are invested in the whole like, oh, it's a portable console. I'll have the game on like my home consoles and my Switch so I can play on the go. So a ton of people downloaded it. A ton of people couldn't play it because of fucking Sony.
Right. And
So
okay,
wait.
here-
So why can't they just play it without the cosmetics then?
I mean, you can, but
you can,
On
but you have
Sony?
to. But you have to make a whole. Well, you have to play. You have to make a whole new account.
yeah. So
it
here-
locks you out of your account if your account is in any way attached to your PSN.
So
That's
let's
bullshit.
say you played on your PS4 for like the past few months and you dropped like $100 on all these cosmetics, right? If you try to play on your Switch, one, you have to create a whole new Epic account, and then two, you will not have access to that $100 worth of cosmetics unless you drop another $100 for that account to have those cosmetics.
So it's all greed, corporate greed here playing in.
Corporate greed.
I mean,
And,
it's basically.
and
I
the
mean,
gamers are the losers.
I mean, here that's the thing. At the end of the day, for Sony, it's the money, man. Because that's the thing. If you go buy skins playing the Xbox version of this game, that doesn't benefit Sony because they know full well that every time you buy skins on Xbox, they're getting like 30% of that revenue. Thing is, if you're playing on PS4, they want you to buy skins on PS4 and give you their money, or they give you.
Give them
your money.
Give them your money. Jesus,
Get
I
your
can
pronouns
English today.
right.
Anyway, but here's the thing. Yes, I definitely think that in that you have to create a whole new account. This whole thing is bullshit. But the ideology behind this isn't anything new. It isn't anything we're not already accustomed to. I mean, because you can't play Rainbow Six Siege crossplay between PS4 and Xbox One. You can't take your skins over from Xbox to PC to PS4 in that game either. And so like no one's crying out about that. And I'm not saying this. I mean, this is still bullshit, right? Because you shouldn't have to make a whole new account if they're gonna have an account like that. But it's just the fact that this is now gaining outrage is kind of surprising. You know what I mean? I mean, the crossplay thing was already gaining momentum in the press, and this is kind of the breaking point. But it's just not surprising to me, really.
Well, so the reason, right, it's blowing up now is because, lest I remind you, Fortnite is like the biggest fucking thing in the zeitgeist
I know.
right now. Like
Yeah.
everyone plays Fortnite. Everyone's heard of Fortnite. If you walk into a high school and just say like, y'all want some Fortnite? Like everyone's like, fucking yeah, boy. And then you get labeled as a pedophile. But
That took a dark turn.
all right.
It went dark. But anyway, yeah, Fortnite's huge, and since it's now the center of like this crossplay debacle, everyone's noticing and everyone's paying attention.
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly it. That's exactly the reasoning. And I'm just as pissed as everyone else is. Like I shouldn't have had to log on there and make a whole new account. And all the powers that be in the games industry, your Greg Millers, your Alana Pierces, and everyone else in the games journalism side of things is pissed. And they're like, Sony, listen, this is bullshit. The fact that this is happening, like this is just straight petty. It's petty bullshit, and it is. It is. It really is.
Has there been any response or any thing from
Sony? The closest thing that we've gotten is an ex-president over at Sony Interactive Entertainment said that like this, like no one should be surprised is basically what he said, to paraphrase.
I feel like Ronald Reagan screaming at Russia tear this wall down.
Yeah, I mean, he basically just said it's the money.
My bad. Germany. My bad.
Yeah, Germany.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this Sony wall.
This sucks. It's just bullshit. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't have any insightful discourse other than this sucks.
Well, then let's talk about something else related to Fortnite. Y'all know that within 3 months of Fortnite being on iOS, it's made $100 million fucking dollars.
And they're pumping like 50 million into developing the Pro League or whatever it is too.
Yeah.
Like holy shit, this is well funded.
It's insane. It's so crazy. When another statistic for you, when the Switch version came out, that day of the Nintendo Direct,
2 million?
The game was downloaded 2 million times. Mm-hmm. 2 million on Switch alone in one day.
With Dota and with these are the games that come out that make me feel like, okay, I guess video game, I don't get it anymore. Like I just don't think it's especially a good game. I would much rather play PUBG if I'm playing a battle royale. Or even that Paladins Royale game coming out. That's kind of like Overwatch Royale.
Oh, Realm
like
Royale?
Like that sounds cool. But I don't know. Every time I play Fortnite, I'm just like, I don't know. Something about it just seems so lightweight and so like meaningless to me.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the graphic style or what.
I've still yet to play.
I think that it's the fact that Epic came in and just went about it more strategic. Like, just they had a better strategy about distribution than PUBG did. They had a better optimized game.
They sanded it down all the corners, right? They made it, They made it very accessible to the masses, to young kids.
Right, and not to mention,
I acknowledge
not
that.
to mention, it's on PS4 and now Switch.
Even let me do you better. It's free.
That too.
That's the main thing. They're free. There's no $30 wall, right?
You know what? It's today, on Wednesday, June 20th, year of our Lord 2018, is the first time PlayerUnknown's Battleground has gone on sale on Steam, and now it's $20.
Wow. Well, they're feeling the heat then, I guess, from all the competition. Wow.
Yeah, because that game's
I
been
almost
out.
forgot the fact that like PUBG's not free.
No, bro,
Yeah,
it's
almost
$30
forgot.
and I paid full price, and I'm pretty sure I bought Robert a copy too.
You did.
No, you bought me.
and
Well, you bought me a copy too, Jack.
bought
Damn it,
both
I'm
of our
$100
copies.
in the hole for this bitch.
You are. Whereas if we jumped into Fortnite, you'd be $0 in the hole. But nonetheless, like PUBG has been on Steam for a year and a half now. Like part of it in early access, part of it not. And this is the first time it's gone on sale, which is kind of unheard of on Steam, because like Steam is all about like sales on everything, even 10% off. You know what I mean?
I just realized I need to stop buying you fuckers shit.
You do. Thank you. Yeah. But
Thanks, Papa Jack.
Don't ever call me that.
would you prefer Uncle?
Uncle Jesse is fine.
Hey,
Uncle
Mr.
Jesse.
Jack.
And actually speaking of PUBG, you know how much that game has made on mobile in 60 days since its release?
How much?
Oh no, let's guess.
Guess, yeah. Okay, so just to recall your numbers here, Fortnite on mobile in 90 days made $100 million.
I was gonna say 10 million, but I think I heard you say 5, so I'll say 5 million.
I'm gonna say PUBG made 15 million.
PUBG in 60 days has made 5.2 million on iOS.
Yep. Wow.
5%.
No Android numbers?
5.2%. No Android numbers. But and also that's an estimate. But still, the fact that the estimate is literally in single digits compared to Fortnite's $100 million, it's insane. It's crazy.
I can't. I feel pour one out for all the parents that have to call into AppleCare to get refunds for their fucking kids spending $100 on Fortnite.
Oh, look, you have your credit card linked. I'm just going to buy all these skins and all these battle passes.
Talk about like a diverged path in the woods. Like look at Epic now and look at motherfucking Cliffy B. Fuck.
Oof. Cliffy, that's a name in this industry.
Those are fucking two. I'm just saying they were together. They were doing the Gears thing and then they split off and now look what happened in 2018. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Gosh,
So,
Cliffy.
So y'all want to hear some more corporate bullshit from this industry that we all love for whatever reason?
Some of this old
rev up them fryers. I'm one hungry customer.
Thanks. So you remember how Fallout 76 weirdly at E3 came out first at the Microsoft conference?
Yeah.
So if you pre-order Fallout 76, you'll also get the beta first on Xbox One. Huh.
Who cares anymore? When's the beta come out anyways? Like,
they don't have a date yet, but their FAQ has said, hey, Xbox One players will get it first.
that's funny. I was thinking about this actually recently, where I remember back in PS2 days, I fucking thought I was the coolest shit because I was a literally card carrying member of the PlayStation Underground. I had an ID badge, and they sent me all this cool swag shit. And
dude, if I knew you at the time, I thought you would be the fucking coolest kid on the block.
No, listen, dude, they were sending me physical discs in the mail because I had the modem for PS2. I was playing SOCOM 2 and shit. I was in the beta for Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal.
Woof.
And I thought I was the most elite ass gamer in the world. I was so cool. I was so above.
Sounds like you're really up your own arsenal.
I was, and I played it one time. I was like, "Oh, this sucks," because it's a beta, and I was like, "I'm never playing this again."
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure they gave me money too and shit. Like it was a different world back then, man.
Yikes!
It was a different world.
Now all you need to do is promise the company that you'll buy their game. You can just download their beta.
What I'm saying
That's
is, who
where we're
cares
at.
about a beta anymore? Why do people care?
So you can play it sooner and have your hot takes.
So you can play the game before it comes out. Duh.
Yeah, and then post all your hot takes on Twitter.
But it's not even it's not even a finished version of the game though.
Yeah, but where we're at nowadays, like betas are pretty close to the final edition.
Because the word beta is meaningless anymore. You know what I mean? They're not saying it anymore to say, "Hey, this game is in this beta phase here." That's not what it means. Usually, betas now are just early access. It's another word for that.
Listen, games nowadays are, as far as I'm concerned, always in beta.
That's true.
Like games are always in beta. There's so many games nowadays. Most every AAA game, they get released, and then it's just patch after patch after patch after patch after patch for like the next 3 months following
games
the
as a
release.
service. Yeah. What about like the games that ship incomplete, and then you have the 20 gigabyte fucking day one patch?
Oh yeah, it's the worst. Like especially if you're like me and you still buy physical media, like. Fucking, I come home and I throw that disc on my PS4, and I fully plan on like it taking 30 minutes to an hour.
I just
for me
love
before
when I get home and I buy a game, right? And you're like, oh, I can't wait to bust out Call of Duty 4, Black Ops. Here we go. Nope, you got to download 4 or 5 patches. Takes half an hour, and then if you have data caps too, you're like, oh shit, that's like my month now. I got to pay $50 to get 5 more gigs and shit. Like. It's just a terrible experience overall.
Yeah, it sucks. But like even single player games aren't exempt from the rule either. I mean, the God of War got a patch like nearly every day for the first few weeks it was out.
Yeah, they went up to like version 1.14 or something like that.
Yeah, which is fine. Like fixing the game wasn't inherently broken.
I was gonna say, did it change gameplay significantly at all?
It was just slight bugs, and they would never explain what bugs. They would just say fixes some bugs. I think one of them eventually added photo mode, unless that's not in yet.
Yeah, that is
selfie
true.
mode.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah, because Kratos, he has a smartphone tucked under his belt that he takes out, duck face.
Right. No, there's those gems on the axe. They're actually cameras.
Right. So there are points in the game where he's like, "Boy, come here, selfie."
Selfie. First, let me take this selfie.
Anyway, yeah, modern gaming sucks. I miss when I could just throw my fucking disc in the hole and it works.
Yep. Ugh. Yeah, that's exactly what you do. You put them in holes.
All right.
All right, we're going to transition now to the final bit of our show. Let's talk about our question of the week. Oh, the music isn't going. Crap. Music isn't going. All right.
Play the music, Robert.
I'm trying.
Get it right.
Cool. Foobar crashed. There it is. There's the music. Not that you guys can hear it, but
it's not the question of the week anyways, so I don't know.
That's true. It's not question of the week this time. You know what it is? It is improv of the week. What we're going to try and do here is we're going to play a little improv game that I've come up with that hopefully will be fun and we will not crash and burn live on stream. Or in your ears.
I got my gasoline and lighter fluid ready.
This is our beta, guys. We're beta testing this.
This
we're baiting it. Yeah,
early access.
Later.
Yeah, early access. Everyone in Twitch chat right now, you're getting early access.
Yeah, I hope you pre-ordered episode 51. It's the only way you have access to this, of course.
Yes, on our Patreon. Just kidding. That's a joke.
So here's the premise, okay? I am I'm head of HR at an ice cream shop. Let's call it like Frigid Rock Creamery, Cold Rock Creamery, if you will.
Cold
We are
stone.
looking to hire. Yeah, we can't use copyright. We're looking to hire a chief flavor guru.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah. And Jack and Colin, you two have submitted your resumes. You're the top 2 final applicants, and we're holding a group interview where you two are going head to head, and you two know that it's just you two left. And I'm going to be looking over your resumes, and I'm going to be asking you guys.
We're in the room together at the same time.
Yes, you're both in the room
Are you
together.
going to pick an actual person to hire?
Yep, at the end.
Oh shit! It'll be Colin. Okay.
Oh, here we go.
We'll find out. So, Jack, I looked over your resume. You seem like a very interesting specimen. You've got
Hi.
a lot of... Hi, how you doing?
Hey.
You got a lot under your belt here. So I just want to start off with a softball question. What is it that you think you can bring to the table here, to the soft serve table that no one else can bring?
Buds of a god. The buds of a god. Taste buds, that is. I got flavor country all up in my mouth. I got the inside. I'm a sommelier of the finer arts of the ice creams. And so the buds is what I bring.
That's a good answer. I don't think I've heard that one before. Appreciate that. Colin, what about you? You've also got a pretty extensive resume here full of a lot of experience. What can you bring to the table that you think no one else can bring?
I just sometimes I get the feeling, I got to take the little spoon, stick it in the, I don't know what's big with the kids nowadays, ketchup flavored ice cream, stick it in there, put it in my mouth, rub it all over them taste buds, rub the cheese. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 taste. Yeah, sometimes you just got to go knee deep with it.
That does go well with our ketchup and mustard sundae that we have that we're going to start in the summer. So hopefully you'll get to see what that's like behind the chair. So Jack, I've taken a really close look at your resume here, and I noticed that you included a scratch and sniff portion to your resume.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you explain that to me? Can you tell me what's going on?
These are my secret recipe homemade waffle cones. They're made with the blood and tears of virgins. And so that's the secret ingredient. And so
not so secret anymore.
Pass down the recipe through the generations. And scratch it there, and you'll get the secret waffle cone recipe sent. You're welcome, by the way.
Interesting.
How do you smell a recipe? Is my question.
Hey, if you can't smell the ice cream, Colin, then
what?
maybe we shouldn't have invited you into this room.
You know what? Yeah, I I thought you were qualified.
Listen, you need a leader
job.
who can ask questions and is not afraid to stick it to the man.
Let me turn this over to you, Colin, then. I see that you have a history of being a custodian at a giant stadium downtown. How do you think that experience will help you in designing the right flavor for our customers?
Well, that's where I got inspiration for the ketchup flavor and the mayonnaise flavor too. That's big with kids nowadays. Also, pregnant women really like the dill pickle ice cream.
Oh yeah.
Racist, but that's fine.
It's a dill pickle ice cream. Sometimes the experience at the stadium just kind of follows through. You smell the hot dogs, you smell the hamburgers, the toppings and everything else. Sometimes maybe you throw an onion or two on there. It's just what tastes good. It's the vinegary taste. You gotta sometimes mix the salty with the sweet.
If you can get me an ice cream sundae that tastes exactly like what that amazing scene you're describing, you might get the job.
Yeah, it might smell a little bit like ball sweat too, but that's fine.
I expected that.
That's his favorite flavor.
All right, Jack, here's a final question for you. What is your favorite color? Answer that first real quick.
I'm American, so my favorite color is the color of freedom. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. How would you make a flavor based on that color?
I would detain families at the border. No, I'm just kidding. No. I would kill a bald eagle. I'd rip its beating heart out from its fucking chest. I would suck the blood out, and then I would find the nearest Ford F-150 and can proceed to do donuts over it, screaming, "God bless this country."
Fair enough.
That's your question.
Yeah, that'd fit alongside our endangered species collection we've got going on, including
Fantastic.
panda flavored ice cream.
That is the exact opposite of patriotic.
Maybe it's the most
That's like
patriotic.
you might as well just light the flag on fire and fucking stomp on it.
I love this fucking guy.
All right, Colin, final question for you. I see that one of your hobbies includes skydiving. Do you think that you could create a flavor that would perfectly capture that experience? And how so?
Oh, man. I mean, I think firstly, it would have to be a flavor to where like you just kind of put your spoon in it and it screams. Like it would probably be some sort of Halloween flavor, maybe something like the Cadbury Scream Eggs, you know?
The spoon screams or the ice cream screams?
I don't know.
Ice cream. We all
I don't know. But as
ice
soon as
cream.
you put it in, your hole, you're gonna scream with how good it is, motherfucker.
Just sounds like Jonathan Davis.
Yeah, that would also go along with our auditory ice cream experiences. We have a few that cause you to cry. Actually, do you think you'd be able to back that up?
Oh God, I mean, I think that I would call that romantic comedy.
I cry myself to sleep every night, wishing for the end. I think I'm the perfect
This
man
flavor
for
is
the
called
job.
the Notebook, because as you eat it, you just start tearing up.
I want a flavor called Grave of the Firefly.
Oh no! It looks like Rocky Road, but it just tastes like sadness.
Every time you eat it, it says brother.
Oh,
Edward.
oh no, never.
Stop.
This is a great ice cream shop here, the Frigid Rock Creamery.
Wow. Yeah.
So looking at you two, you're both very experienced. I think you both bring a lot to the table for flavored, for our good flavor guru. But Colin, it was an honor to be nominated.
It was an honor to be nominated.
It was an honor to be invited into this room.
Be honored.
But we're gonna have to
I'm
ask
honored.
you to hang up your ice cream scoop.
Oh, ow.
The
Shit.
natural flavor.
Was it the F-bomb? I'm sorry about the fucking F-bomb, all right?
Oh
All
no!
right?
Frankly, you needed more of it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
it was not
ketchup
enough,
ice cream's the
exactly.
next big thing. Damn it! I'm gonna take this to Heinz, and I'm gonna take it to the higher ups, and they're gonna love it. They're gonna love it, and we're gonna sell millions upon millions of bins of ketchup ice cream.
With
Jesus,
great
that sounds
power
so
comes
gross.
great responsibility. I humbly accept the offer.
Congratulations, Jack.
Who the fuck said you got it already?
You
He
are the
did,
new,
motherfucker.
You are the new chief flavor guru of Frigid Rock
Yes.
Creamery. And that does it for us this week on the Tiny Disc podcast. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, concerns, anything you want us to read live on this actually live show, you can send them to us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. If not, you can tweet at us, you can Facebook at us, you can gram at us. I'm starting to wonder if these all fit. You can find you can find all of our social media links on tinydisc.com, which is where you can also find all of our previous episodes if you're so inclined to check them out.
Let me say something real quick. Also, thank you to everyone watching us on the Twitch chat. We heart you very hard. And
Yeah, shout out
we
to the
appreciate your
Twitch
support.
chat.
And obviously, we're growing this out. So bring your friends. We're going to be here every Wednesday at, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Is that right?
For the next few weeks, yeah.
Yeah, and we're going to be doing it right. We're going to be doing it real. We're going to be doing it live. And come join us, guys. It's going to be a thing.
Well,
yeah, shout out to the guy in the Twitch chat that said our heads were too big.
Thanks.
I definitely feel you. He's like, Jesus, stop eating your mic. Head's
I
too
haven't
big.
even read the comments yet, but it'll be fun
So
when I go
good.
back.
No, it's kind of true, but we're still figuring things out. I'm sure we'll figure something out in terms of so we're not so in your face, quite literally.
But that's the best part of the show.
Oh yeah, of course.
For
We
sure.
need to be bigger. We need to be the console of the three heads.
We
Yeah.
need to go bigger. We need
Yeah,
to
we need
build
to.
stronger.
All of us need to look like Zordon from Power Rangers.
Same.
Yes.
Really, just like this part of our face. Oh, I mean, I guess the audio people don't know what I'm saying, but literally just like your eyes to the bottom of your mouth. That's it.
Yeah.
No forehead. No chin.
That's not creepy at all.
Nope. That's it. Yeah, that's great. If you enjoyed the show, you could leave us a review on iTunes. That'd really help us out. It'd be more than you know. If not, walk into your nearest ice cream shop that rhymes with Schmold Cone Creamery, and play that last segment out loud on the loudest speakers you have. And
Or
tell
don't,
everyone,
because that place is too expensive.
well, I mean, I didn't say buy the ice cream there. I just said walk in and play the podcast and tell them, hey, that was a Tiny Disc podcast. Enjoy it. And also follow it and subscribe and all that
Go
shit.
Breakfast Club style, like hold up the old school like boom box. Don't you forget about us, because we're the Tiny Disc podcast.
Although instead of that song, they'll play like our intro song. Bam,
oh
there
yeah,
it is.
that works
Done.
too. Yeah.
Wrap it up, send it out.
Yep.
Hey, where can we find you guys online on the internet?
You can find me, Colin Amano, on Twitter, aka at booboo__55.
I'm on Instagram at Mr. Cepeda, Mr. Or no, ._CEPEDA. Yeah, that's it.
Good.
I'll
There
get
you
it.
go.
I'll get it
Here's
one
the
day
thing,
soon.
You can't fuck these up anymore because they're above your head on Twitch.
I mean,
You
hey,
can't.
just watch us on Twitch. You'll get all the answers.
There you go.
First.
And you can find me at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. Thank you so very, very much for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast. And we'll see you guys next Thursday.
You know what really makes me angry? Is that all that ice cream I was talking about is real.
Noted.